What has a 1% drop in interest rates done to the Northern Virginia real estate market here early in 2026? And question number 2, will supply equal the demand that we're already seeing this year? And which generation will make up the most transactions for buyers and sellers in 2026? We'll cover the February housing market and answer these questions today. Even with the crazy snow, sub-freezing temperatures, and this thing called snowcrete, the housing market warmed up very quickly after sleeping all the way through the holidays. We experienced an almost overnight surge in housing demand about the second week. So January 9th, January 10th, all of a sudden things picked up. And this is a little early because, as you know, on the times I've talked to you before, the spring market usually kicks off around the Super Bowl. So this one just really started early. Right when mortgage rates dipped, the early spring buyers were ready to transact. Multiple offers, open houses with 20 to 50 groups in some areas, pre-offer home inspections, and strategy calls late into the night was the norm for most of January. However, since this surge happened January 9th and 10th, I really believe the big data we're going to see that's changed in February will be in this next housing report next month. I think we're going to see days on market go down. We're going to see prices being sold at or above list price. And we're also going to see some very quick closings as buyers were willing to transact quickly for homes to first get the house with the right interest rate, and also we're ready to get things done quickly with their lenders or cash. Let's take a look at Fairfax County's numbers. The median sold price for single-family homes was $925,000, which is 0.5% higher year over year. The median sold price was 1.9% lower than the original asking price. I was shocked when I looked at these numbers, but days on market for Fairfax County detached homes was 24 days in January. That's one of the highest in the last 3 years. But again, Fairfax County is huge. So what we really need to do is look at a few zip codes to see, did this 24 days happen in different zip codes, or was there a different picture and story going on? In 22032 in Fairfax, the days on market was 12. In 22182 in Vienna, the days on market was 15. In 22015 in Burke, the days on market was 27. And in 22315, that's the Kingstowne area, the days on market was 41. So you can see from these micro markets, these subset, these zip codes, that the days on market was all over the map from 41 down to 12. What we're going to see this next month is I am 100% sure that days on market is going to be going down significantly for all those different zip codes. So I'll share those zip codes again next month, and I'm sure that they're going to see that there would be more of a set baseline among all these different zip codes, and probably even the county days on market will come down as well. All right, let's dive into Arlington County. In Arlington County, the median sold price for single-family homes was $1.26 million, which is 9% lower year over year. The median sold price to original asking price was 3.3% lower. And the median days on market was 62 days, which is the highest in 3 years. The days on market can be alarming for Arlington County. Obviously, people want to live over there. They want to be close to the metro. They want to be close to work in Washington, D.C., close to the Pentagon. There's a lot of different companies that are in Arlington. So let's just talk about it. It's new construction. New construction is what's making the days on market longer. Not because they're not selling, but because their cycle is a lot longer. Let's just say you can go out there right now and drive down the streets and see an old Rambler that's been sitting there, that's been sold by the developer, and they have a sign out. They haven't got the permits yet. They're working on their plans. They're working on all the marketing, getting their contractors together to do the build. So, but while that's happening, they're marketing the home. So days on market is accruing, but that doesn't mean that it's slow. It just means that they're preparing to get this house to go to market and sell it. So 6, 9 months, it can take that much time. So if you start to see these longer days on market, Arlington, don't think that it means that people aren't purchasing. It just means that new construction is in the mix. If we take new construction out, and I did that just to see what it would look like, we're actually down to 37 days. And that is on par with some other areas around town. In the city of Alexandria, the median sold price for single-family homes was $1.2 million, which is down 3.2% year over year. but the median sales price to original asking price was 100%. So what this really means is that a seller puts a house in the market, let's say for 1.2 million, they're going to get an offer at 1.2 million. So if they listed it properly based on the condition and buyer behavior, they were getting all of their asking price when they sold the home. Since demand is up, the question is, will we continue to see inventory levels rise to offset this demand? If not, we're going to continue to see multiple offer situations on these homes. The snowstorm did delay some sellers coming to market, pushing them out 1 or 2 weeks. And so we're starting to see a trickle of what was pent up. I even had one client the other day comment, I can't keep up with all these different homes that are popping up. And I said, it's because we had a lag of a few weeks because of this wonderful snowstorm that came through and kind of put everything to a halt. Buyer activity was not stopping, but the launching of new listings definitely was slow. But Barry Habib and Logan Mohtashami, two leading economists in the real estate industry, have been recently quoted as saying that the lower mortgage rates, and potentially even a bit lower through the year, will bring in more buyers. Not just new ones, but ones that have been on the sidelines for years. You're going to see a rush of people who have been waiting for so many years. It's more about past demand that should have been there. We still have over 162 million people working. We have 5 generations of home buyers. They're still here and not going anywhere. I meet folks all the time that have put purchasing on home 2 or even 3 years because they just couldn't make it make sense with their budget when the interest rates were 7 or 8%. And now they're coming back into the market when there's a more stable interest rate environment where they feel good about calculating their budget and know that the interest rate environment is good for them, it makes sense, and they're back in. So my concern is going to be is that if the inventory doesn't go up, these buyers that have been sidelined and they're coming back in the market, as well as the new buyers coming in, we're going to be looking at a very competitive market all year long. So the question is, who is buying and selling homes in 2026? According to the National Association of Realtors 2025 Profile Report, the median age for first-time home buyers is 40, and repeat buyers rose to a median age of 62. The typical age of home sellers is 64, which is the highest ever recorded. Baby boomers, ages 60 to 78, are the largest share of both home buyers and sellers in transacting more than younger generations due to their financial position. And catch this, homeowners are staying in their home longer than ever, up to 11 years. And home buyers that are entering the market and purchasing, they're thinking about staying in their homes up to 15 years. It used to be where you'd have a startup home. You'd buy a house, you'd start maybe 3 to 5 years, and you'd sell that and move to the next house. They're thinking a lot more long-term than they used to. And my question and concern is if they're staying in longer, and then their horizon once they purchase is longer, the inventory level issue that we have may not get resolved. Clarity, structure, and strategy is going to be so important for buyers and sellers in 2026. So if my team can help in any way, we'd be honored to be able to be your guide through a transaction of selling or buying. Until next time.